Yeah. What it do? Yeah, it's your brother, man, from the motherland, coming to you guys live from the NY. For those that don't know, I am him, the Honorable Jones, not a bond to war with you, but an Alkebulan Kidnapped that's ready for the get back. And welcome back to the Redeem or Destroy podcast, where we deal with facts over beliefs and awaken the minds of the kidnapped worldwide. Round of applause for that. For those that's tuning in on the TikTok, you can watch the full video on YouTube. Click the link in the bio, or you can just simply go on YouTube and type in ROD Podcast 12, the number 12. Okay. And for those that's tuning in on YouTube, again, welcome. I am him. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? You don't find that suspicious? Hold on. There we go. There we go. So tonight we're gonna tonight we're gonna talk about a war most of y'all never heard of. A war the school system buried. A war where African women, excuse me, Alkebulan women, not European saviors, shook the British Empire. That's right. African women that shook the British Empire. Round of applause for them. Yes, yes, yes. So let me pop this up on my screen so you guys can know where we going with this. Right? Make sure I got it all nice and covered for you guys. Right? There you go. All right. So let's dive right into it. And today's topic, we're going to talk about the Aba Woman War of 1929. Yes, the Aba Women's War of 1929 is what we're going to talk about. More than 10,000 women, some recorded say 25,000 across the region, moved on colonial system. This was no pastor leading them, no politicians, just a bunch of El Kebulan sisters who had enough. Round of applause again. Round of applause. You gotta give round of applause, man. Round of applause. Okay. So first, I want you to see how they sell us the story. So for those that's on TikTok, follow me on YouTube so you can see the video in its whole totality. For those that's on YouTube, you already see it on the screen. Let's read. It says, did you know on this day in 1929, more than 25,000 African women began an uprising that shocked the British colonial state? The Aba Women's War erupted after a colonial agent assaulted a widow during a census meant to extend taxation onto women following years of imposed patriarchal rule. Okay. Thousands of women organized mass actions across the southeast Nigeria, tearing down native courts, cutting telegraph lines, freeing prisoners, and confronting the chiefs installed by the Britain to police them. Colonial troops opened fire, caused heavy loss amongst the women, but the uprising crashed the tax plan and became one of the largest women anti-colonial revolts in West Africa. Some of you guys never heard of this, but tonight is the night you get this barbecue chicken. So round of applause for the sisters again. Round of applause for them. You got to applaud them, right? So now that we got that out the way, okay, we got that out the way, we're going to continue with the segment, okay? Now look at this. They turn a full scale uprise into a cute, did you know slide, soft colors, nice font, okay? A little fun fact for social media, okay? Because it was through social media where I found this information. But behind that pretty text is blood, dead bodies, women shot down for standing up to a crooked tax system. That's the part they don't put in the slide. Yes. So tonight, we're going to unpack what really happened. We're going to connect it. We're going to connect it to it right now. And we're going to ask a hard question. Where is the same energy in our communities today? Okay. For those that's tuning in on TikTok, if you got something to say, please throw the comments. For those that's on YouTube, you got something to say, please comment in the chat. If you're watching me live, put your city in the chat. Let me know where you tuning in from, right? Brooklyn, the Bronx, Chi-Town, Atlanta, Lagos, London. Let's see the map. Let me know. We trying to take this information, this channel. We trying to be in everybody's household. 2026 is the day, is the year Jews do not quit. You hear me? If it don't fit, you must quit. So you niggas is not fitting the algorithm, you must quit. All you podcasters, you need to quit because you ain't giving us this barbecue chicken. We trying to eat, you trying to put us to sleep. We got enough nigga riders going on in the hood. Round of applause for that. Right? Let's work. Before you can understand the Abba's war, you gotta understand the setup. Okay? This is Southeast Nigeria in 1920s. Britain runs the show. They don't rule directly. They use something called indirect rule. Okay? Indirect rule is what's being done. That means they pick local men, call them warrant chiefs, and put British power behind them, similar to what you guys are seeing now in America and even still in Africa. Okay? A lot of these appointed supposed leaders was put there not by the people, but by this country that's exploiting Africa till this very day. Okay? Now remember, these chiefs wasn't chosen by the people. They was chosen by the colonizers. Okay? Now, here's the key. Before colonization, women in that region had power. They ran markets, they controlled trade, they had their own council and titles. They could gather, sing, and shame a leader who stepped out of line, holding people accountable. Yes, this is stuff that we did naturally. Okay. Women were not silenced. Women were not sitting in the back, similar to what you're being told in the Biblos. And just a FYI, while we are in this subject, right? FYI, I'm stunned. I really got to question the doctrine that's being told within the Biblos, within the Abrahamic religion in itself, because I see in these books is very male dominance, and it's like women hold no position. But when you look at the solar universe and just the order of the universe, women play very important roles. For example, carrying a child for goddamn 9 months, giving birth to that child that sometimes take 3 to 5 to 6, even 8 hours, okay? To then raising these children, right? And and also having to deal with the trials and tribulations that come along with a woman having a child. For example, having the system remove your child and you don't even have the opportunity to like grieve on that because you still got to get up, go to work, and take care of the other children. Like stuff like that, you really got to question the ideologies or the doctrine that comes with this Abrahamic religion, because it's suppressing the importance and the power of our women. I just want to just throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? Now, the British did not understand that. They brought their own ideas of women. Okay. Again, they brought their own ideas of women. And one of those ideas was housewives, stay in the homes, stay out of politics. So when they built their system, they cut the woman out of official power. Now, hold on. I want to show you guys. I got the videos playing in the background so you guys can get a brief understanding on what am I saying. I want to give you guys just a brief understanding on what I am saying. Why is this not? There we go. I was about to say, okay. Now, let me play these videos for you guys. We're going to start off with this one. My apologies. So, what this video displays is before the arrival of Europeans, you know, our sisters played a very pivotal role in, the structure and the order of our land. And when you fast forward to today, women carries the least positions. And when they carry a position, they have to answer to a man. And not just any man, but the European man. You understand? And it's crazy. But like I said, I really got to um I really got to dive deep as far as seeing exactly what's going on, because a lot of things is just not adding up. And once you uncover and you break the Da Vinci Code for one, you have to continue breaking the Da Vinci Code for the others, right? So let us continue. Let me continue. My bad, guys. Let me continue. I'm trying to I'm trying to operate all this electronics. It's just so much. I wish I could just snap my finger. You understand? When we grow, we'll have the team to literally construct and operate, change the camera views, put this, put that. Everything will just be in order. Just bear with me. We getting there, right? So when they built the system, like I said, their system, they cut the women out of official power. No place in the native courts, no voice in the new government. There was nothing. Okay. So I just played this map for you. Okay. Just played the map for you. Okay. Now let's get back to it. Now, you add money pressure to that. In 1927, the British started taxing men in southeast Nigeria. At the same time, world prices for palm oils and palm kernels the main cash crops, they're dropped hard. Okay, so men are taxed, crops are paying less, families are struggling. Okay, then in 1929, the colonial government sent agents to count women's their property and their livestock. So now they just couldn't get enough of taxing the men. They say, you know what? Let's also tax the women. And then when you look at today's society, it's the same blueprint. It's like these niggas really didn't change absolutely nothing. This is why I get so upset when I see our people just openly just give in to these people, knowing what these people have done, knowing what they still doing. And when I tell you that these people are still reaping the benefits of this system, this is what I mean. Okay. It's deeper than me being so-called racist. It's deeper than that. Okay. Okay. So our women know exactly what that means. You don't count people for fun. You count them so you can tax them. Okay? All right? In a town called Oloko, there's a widow named, I can't say her name, Nwanjawuna, a census man and a warrant chief came to her yard. Okay? Came to her yard. Okay? Let me make sure, put this in a loop. So as I'm reading, you guys can understand. Okay? Came into her yard. They told her to count her goats and her people. He was speaking to her with disrespect. He grabbed her by the throat. In some versions of the story, she pushed back. She said, "You're not going to tax me." That clash became the spark. Yes, it became the spark. Okay? So just so you guys can see. Oh, excuse me. Play the video for you guys again. Just so you guys can see. She was supposed to be taxed, but again, she refused. And due to YouTube community guidelines and also TikTok, I'm not supposed to show our sisters being harmed in any way, shape, or form, even though I don't need YouTube to tell me that, right? We shouldn't be doing that at all. Okay. So back to regular programming. Now here is where you see power. Nwana Jerumana, I can't say her name. We're just gonna call her Noana, okay? Doesn't just take the disrespect and go cry somewhere. She sends the word out. Women in that culture had communication networks. They use market networks, they use palm fronds and signals. One woman tells another, village sends delegations. Before social media, they did what we pretend we can do now. They organized. They had a conversation. They did the cold holler, "Coo, coo, coo, coo." And you know what came after that, right? Round of applause for the sister. Round of applause. Round of applause. We got to applaud when the sisters do good work, right? Now, family, I want you to write this in the chat. Organizations is older than the internet. Again, let's write it. Organizations is older than the internet, right? Soon, right after, thousands of women are on the move. They marched to the district office. They camped outside officials' houses. They surrounded, the native courts, right? They was out here wilding. All right. Let's talk about how they fought. These women use methods called sitting on a man. That's what it's called. They use a method called sitting on a man. If a leader abused power, women would gather at his house. They would sing, dance, clap, and chant his wrong all night. They would shame him in front of everyone until he faced his actions. Now, me personally, I wouldn't want to be facing nothing like that. Nor if I was a woman, nor would I even be in the sidelines doing that. Straight up kicking the door, raising the fofo, right? Now, take that local method and apply it to a whole colonial system, right? Women hit at least 16 native courts. Some courts were destroyed. Court records were seized or also burned. They attacked houses of warrant chiefs. They looted European factories at the place like the Abba and the Imora River. They stormed prisons and released the prisoners. They also cut the telegraphic lines to stop the British from calling in for help. Bitch ass niggas. Round of applause for the sisters, man. Okay? Shout out to the sisters, man. This is what you call justice, people. Okay? This marching and the protesting, this is what you guys were seeing. This is everyday life, real time. Okay, this was going on in real time. They stood, they marched, they what they were supposed to do, right? Right. Shout out to the sisters again. Now, let's be serious now. Understand how serious this is. This is not a protest on the streets. The uprising spread across about 6,000 square miles. That region held around 2 million people. We talking the Igbo, the Leobos, the Endona, the Oganis, the Ifas, the Aigwan women, different ethnic groups moving together. This is what you call the rise that would never be televised. And I'm sure none of you got ever heard of it because I never heard of this. Okay? So when they call the Abba Women's Riot, they should hear the disrespect. That's not a riot. That was an organized rebellion. Okay? That's what that was. Now you know how the colonizers move. At first, some British officials are shocked. They reports say the streets look like a festival ground. Thousands of women camping near government buildings. But as the protests spread, the fear kicked in. Now, I'm how can I say this without being disrespectful? I'm trying to figure out like where did this protest energy take place? I mean, I always thought that this protest and marching came from, Martin Luther King, I have a dream, we shall overcome. I thought it came from there, but obviously this was in 1929. So where did this marching come from? Sometimes I feel like these people really got their hands in how we think, how we function. It just does not add up sometimes. It just doesn't. And it really, really pisses me off. Okay? But as the protests spread, the fear kicked in. They started to worry that this women's movement will collapse the whole indirect rule system. Okay? So they do what empires always do. They sent in the troops. They opened fire on unarmed women in several towns. By the end, about 55 women were killed and many more was wounded. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Oh, this is the wrong one. Is it this one? There we go. And again, shout out to the sisters again, man. And but when we get to the end, I'm gonna just give you guys a little FYIs and 311s. You know what I'm saying? Where was I? So as you guys see that on the screen, I want you guys to let that sink in. They sent machine guns against mothers and market women. Okay. And then to hide the guilt, you downgrade it in the record books, calling it riot, disturbance, unrest. These are the terminologies that they use that they're still using to this day. It's like they violate. When we react to the violation, they say they was rioting, they was looting, they was vandalizing, they was this, they was that. And it's like, bro, you the cause of this. You acting like, for me, this is a riot. This is a disturbance, right? Everybody just minding their business. And I don't know where 100 black people. In fact, if you want to be technical, the only people that was a disturbance in the unrest and the riots was you guys. You guys came into our space, people minding their business, and voila, you attack like a raging bull. It's you guys. And like I say all the time, I just find it kind of strange that, we living in a society, right, that we know was founded off blood, right? Like blood, sweat, and tears built this country, right? And we also know that a particular group of people also had their hands in the genocidal approach upon another group of people, right? And through that, these people finished violating, breaking every universal law you can imagine. And these same people have the audacity to now put laws in place. I just want you guys to just let that sink in. But in all seriousness, guys, put this in the chat. This is what I want you guys to put in the chat. It was a war, not a riot. Okay? It was a war, not a riot. Okay? The woman's action forced the British to react even after the shooting. The colonial office in London set up commissions of inquiries. They took testimonies from some of the women. That was rare. They usually ignore the African, or should I say, the Alkebulan voices. By 1930, the British abolished the warrant chief system on paper and started using village councils instead. Some women were appointed to native courts. Okay, the tax on women was dropped. Okay, yes, the tax on woman was dropped. That's the round of applause for that. The heck? All right. I know. I know. I know. It's beautiful, ain't it? I know. Right? Let us continue. But we're not going to celebrate. We're not going to celebrate the colonizers too fast. Even with those changes, women were still often blocked from real political power. The violence was never paid back. Families never got justice for the woman that was killed. Oh no. And over time, the story gets watered down and pushed to the side. Hence, I never knew about this. Nobody never told me about this. Honey, did you ever hear about this? Nobody never knew about this. This is literally coming out of left field. And shout out to those that's bringing such information to the forefront, because these are the things that we need, right? Cool. Now, let's ask the real question. Why don't we know about this? We went through 12 years of school, maybe college. You heard about the Boston Tea Party. You heard about the French Revolution. You heard about the Russian Revolution. You heard about the Holocaust. You heard of all of that. But nobody told you African women shut down part of British systems in 1929. Hmm? Because if you saw that, you would stop thinking power only flows one way. You would stop waiting for other people to rescue you. Hence, what's coming from the sky. Huh? Okay? Open one of the articles. This is what I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you one of these articles. Let's see if I still got it. That's if I still got it, people. I'm going to open this article for you guys. And, you know, I had it on my screen and I took it down because I don't even remember why I took it down. Okay, there we go. So this is in Wikipedia. We're just gonna keep it nice and brief. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let me share my screen. Share my screen. Which one was it? It's on Google Chrome. All right. So I'm sharing my screen with you guys. I want you guys to take a look as I proceed to give you what you need, right? So the woman's war, okay? I can't say these names, okay? Names is crazy. You know, I'm still trying to learn how to say English words. You know, my words will tell you all the time. But, you know, you're always messing up on the words. And I say, you understood what I meant though, right? Say, yeah, that's all that matters, right? So the Women's War was a period of unrest in colonial Nigeria in November 1929. This is right now. That's the reason why I did it in November, because it happened not too long ago. 1929, around this time. Okay? The protest broke out when thousands of Igbo women from the Benedict district, the Umana, and other places in Nigeria traveled to towns of Oloko to protest against the warrant chiefs, who they accused of restricting the role of women in the government. The protests encompassed women from six ethnic groups. Like I said, it's too much for me to be saying. I'm gonna butcher all of it. Y'all niggas know what it is. Okay. It was organized and led by the Ruel women of the Uwari and the Calabara Providence. The Maz apprehendi of the protest involved the sit-in by the women. During the event, many warrant chiefs were forced to resign, and 16 native courts were attacked, most of which were destroyed. It was the first major revolt by women in West Africa. Now, I read this already. I just want you guys to just understand where the sources is. Okay? The sources is here. Grab your intel. Okay? Now I finished sharing my screen. Let me go put back my video for you guys. All right. Let me put back. So as you guys can see, I gave you just a little preview of what took place. Okay. But the 55 woman that was killed, there was absolutely no justice for that. Okay. Now, Our problem is we don't read our own history with the right lens. We let them label our uprise as riots. We let them sell our heroes as trivia posts instead of strategy manuals. Okay? This is what we do. I just want you guys to understand that a lot of things that you see going on is weed that's allowing it. Okay? So family, this is bigger than Nigeria of 1929. Look at our situations right now. We still have a system that taxes us to death, but don't service us. Okay? We still have police and courts used to keep us in line. We still have black women carrying whole movements on their backs with little protection and little credit. This is a fact. A lot of times the women, the people that's awakening and that comes into my channel and support are females. Meanwhile, the niggas is so into their feelings and their emotions, it's like they don't want to see another black man with more knowledge and wisdom than them. And it's like, yo, bro, we're not here to compete. We here to teach, to educate, to separate, to put an end, or I don't want to say the end, but to continue to investigate and find out who we are, what we are, how we got here, what needs to be done to fix us from here. You understand? Because at the end of the day, guys, we are not in the right state of mind, mentally, physically, spiritually. And that's because we are not where we supposed to be. Okay? We're not home. Okay? America is imprisonment for us. Right? Now, there's a lot going on right now. Matter of fact, I'll save that for later. I'll save that for later. So, guys, I want you to think about the last 2 decades. Who was on the front lines of most protests? Who organized phone trees, food drives, bail funds? Who did that? It was black women. Some of you guys don't know that the Black Panther Party, it was literally functioning with black women. Okay? When you see the March of Martin and Malcolm, all of this was put together by women. When you go into these stores, and I mean not the stores, when you go into these conventions, right? Like these black liberations, who's always at the front? You know what I'm saying? Counting the money, making the food. You understand? Making sure the energy and the vibration is on high. It's the women. This is why it's very important, or should I say, this is why it's time for us as individuals to start questioning the very ideologies that was given unto us, because these things does not make sense. You can't minimize a woman knowing what women brings to humanity. Women plays a very important role. You understand? Somebody like myself, can you imagine I come home, no cook food? A woman plays that role. You know what I'm saying? And this is just a minute role because this is what society has installed into our women. Maybe the women are supposed to be the rulers of this earth. Maybe the women are the gods of this earth. Just maybe. I don't know. Because everything has been misconstrued. But when you look at the natural order, even the lion's kingdom, who's the prey? The lion, the king of the lion, I said the king of the lion, you hear me? The king of the jungle, which is the male lion, this is the most laziest nigga of them all. The nigga wake up, yawn, say, where's my food? He eats his food. He busts a nut. The man lasts 2 seconds. If you watch the video of him slapping, it's like 2 seconds and he falls asleep. Like literally just lay flat on the ground. Like if that's the epitome of a modern day nigga, I'm like, damn, son, this universal thing is for real, son. Nigga laid out. I'm talking about mouth open, legs spreaded. I seen one with the dude with the lion was on his back. I'm like, damn, mama broke my mama gave it to you good like that. But in all seriousness, it be the female lions that does everything. She's hunting, she's gathering, she's nurturing, she's teaching. You see the baby lions all up under their moms, while the male lion is literally dozed off somewhere on top of a hill somewhere. This is crazy. So again, and when you see today's society, you see that it's usually the woman that's doing the X, Y, and Z, while the man is, you know, just doing. Let's just put it how my wife say, we have way too much free time, and it's like our minds don't trigger to do anything else, but a woman mind is like, you know what I'm saying? Like they wear 50 hats. So again, maybe we need to start questioning the doctrine that was given unto us and why are women being suppressed. And for my sisters, it's time for you to ask yourself that question. Why are you being suppressed? How come you're not allowed to, speak up or stand up? Why aren't you? I mean, I'll leave it as that. I'll leave it as that. Right? But in all reality, right? Look who still runs the meetings. Look who still wants the mic. Look who still writes the law. The Abba Women's War showed another model. They did not wait for a male leader to approve them. Okay, to approve not just them but their pain. They did not wait for a church to call a fast. They did not spend years asking for a seat at the table. They flipped the table. Okay, this is what our sisters was doing. They was flipping the table. Like, man, F all that, we're not trying to hit none of that, right? Where today, while they flipping the table, it's the men that be like, my sister, you not in the right spirit, man. You gotta fast and pray. You know what I'm saying? The Father, here we go again. Here we go again. The Father said, do you smell what the Father is never cooking? That's what he's telling you. You understand? And we run with that, and it's like, hold on. Why I gotta be the Father? Why the three trinities is considered a male to you guys? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. You guys know that the word holy means separate. And you guys also know that spirit means demon. So basically, you subjected to a separate demon. You're not filled with the I mean, you are filled with the Holy Spirit, but it's not what they told you. You are filled with the separate demon. This is why you see it be the diehard Christians, the diehard Hebrews, the diehard Islams. They are the ones that will crash out in a heartbeat, especially if you're talking about their God. Don't you ever disrespect my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He died on Calvary for me. And people will really say that to you. Okay. So in all seriousness, guys, I want y'all to talk to me. If the woman in 1929 could move across 6,000 square miles with no phones, what is our excuse today with smartphones in our hands? I mean, again, we got to ask all these questions. What is our excuse? Please tell me, what is our excuse? Or should I say, let's not even call it an excuse. What is the problem? What is stopping us from executing what the Abba women did? I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it. My bad. This is not the video I want to play. Hold on. No, I downloaded it. There we go. No, tweet. We want justice. When do we want now? Power to the people. Power to the people. Everybody. We gotta ask these questions. $1,000. We got $1,000 phones. We got all this education. We got everything, but yet nothing allows us or trigger to stand up for what you believe in. To stand up and know that you can be put to the ground. It's a possibility. But death is always promised, is what you would die for. Would you rather be unalive for the cause? Or would you rather be unalive because you support the boss? Which one is it? Now, I'm not saying we copying their tactics. That's not what I'm saying. We're not supposed to do that, right? We're not going to cut telegraphs and telegraph lines in 2020. Our telegraph now is social media, algorithm, bank statements, okay? These are the things that's controlling our very telegraph right now, okay? But the soul is the same. Target the real power centers, hit the courts, hit the money, hit the companies that profit off our suffering. Nobody should have an iPhone. Nobody should have an up-to-date iPhone. If you got an iPhone 17, you are spending money on the genocide. Think about that. Think about that. This is how you hurt these people's pockets. When these people issued the you know what, you guys should have said, word, that's how you move it? We're not coming to work. And everybody should have stayed home. I'm talking from the legislation all the way down to the dude that's dealing with whatever he's dealing with. Okay? Now imagine if our people decided, right? Until these demands is met, we're not spending $1 with this system. Imagine coordinating boycotts, mass withdrawal days, legal attacks on politics, combined with people in the streets. That type of layered pressure that our women were applying in their times, can you imagine? So what are the lessons for the Alkebulan Kidnapped? Spread out across the West today. Lesson number 1. Women are not backups. They are central. Okay? The women weren't a side group. They led the whole action. When we erase Black women from the story, we kill our own blueprint. Let me say that again. When we erase Black women from the story, we kill our own blueprint. Lesson number 2, local cultures can be turned into a weapon against power. Their method of sitting on a man was a cultural practice long before 1929. They didn't throw that away. They scaled it up, okay? What are the things in our culture, right? What are the things in our culture that is affecting us? Our music, the lack of gathering, our social media habits that could be turned from distractions into tools. Yes, you can turn these things into tools. I'm on social media a lot, but when you see me on, it's to gather information. I will look to see, my engagement with the community, and then I will go looking for news. And my algorithm is always going to provide me with the news. This is why I was able to see what I see right now and learn all about the Aba women of 1929. Right? Lesson number 3, you can force an empire to change policies, even if you don't get everything you want. These are the things that they tell you, right? These are the things that they tell you. But in reality, guys, the objective is to just clip everything. The objective is to clip everything. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. It's to literally clip everything. You can force the empire to change even if they don't get everything you want. The British did drop the plan to tax women. They did scrap the warrant chief system on paper. They did appoint some women to the courts. That's what they did. But one thing you should always remember, these niggas don't forget. Okay? The woman paid a price in blood, but they also changed the structure. This is lesson 4. If we don't control our story, they will shrink it to fit their comfort. That's why I'm not calling it the Abba's Woman Riot. I'm calling it what it was, the Abba Woman's War, because language is part of the fight. Listen carefully, people. Language is part of the fight. Now, for all my people who like receipts, let's pull them up. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to pull it up. The link is in the description. You can click and read these stories for yourself. Okay. You see here, what you're going to see is the first major revolt by women in West Africa. Okay. And everything that they did. Shout out to them for their sacrifice. Okay. And the Oxford Research Encyclopedia, or the academic articles on women's wars, showing sections about attack on courts and looting factories. Right here, it says the women attacked colonial courts, seized records, looted European factories, and released prisoners. Okay? That's what they tell you. And here you see the tactical laid out marches, right? Haunting officials, symbolic sounds, organized non corporations. This is what we did. I want you to screenshot these sources. When you go click the description, screenshot it, go on it, and gather your information, because Black love is very, very important. Okay? And after you screenshot them, you must teach them to your children. Because if you're waiting on the school system to teach your child about Black, they will never hear it. Okay? Family, the goal tonight is simple. I'm not here to give you a cute history lesson. I'm here to show you that. Hold on, I'm going to show my face. Okay? To show you that our people always resisted, especially our women. And now I also feel, matter of fact, I'm lying. And this is another reason why you have to question what was told to you. Because when I was, shout out to Mama Bella, right? When she provided me with the intel of how the Haitians received their independence, a lot of it had to do with the women and the stuff that they sacrificed, selling their bodies just to get closer to the enemy. I'm talking, listen, I know I'm on TikTok, so I gotta be mindful of what I say, but they used to literally, have escort services. And when these niggas came to woo woo woo, they got hit with the boo boo boo. You hear me? All right. So the question is, are we willing to match that energy? Are we willing to match that energy in our own time? If this breakdown hits you, okay? If this breakdown hits you and you feel what was said, put this breakdown, hit your like button, and always remember, respect your DNA. Put that in the chat. We're going to be respecting our DNA. And we're going to open the lines in a minute. Take some. I'm about to say some calls. And you know it's crazy? I got my joint set up to take calls. I don't think I'm ready to be hearing you guys' mouths. Gonna piss me off. I don't. And then on top of that, I be doing it way too late. Okay. So again, support the movement. Follow the movement. Get down with the get down. This is the first of many. I got so much things in the works, but I'm such a perfectionist. The goal is to make sure everything is just wonderful. You see, you see the background, you see the overlays and the tickers, like everything got to be up to par. Because I understand that I'm dealing with the machine. Everybody got a podcast. Everybody's on YouTube. Everybody's on TikTok. Everybody's on something. There's only a certain few that's going to withstand the storm when it's all said and done. And with that being said, it's your brother man from the motherland. Came to you guys live. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Join the movement. Join the Patreon. Join the the membership. Get you some knowledge. You know, like I said, we wait to get 100 followers. And from there, I will be giving you guys weekly, and I repeat, weekly life coaching. You understand? Life coaching help you with personal, physical, spiritual. I mean, I'm still trying to get myself physical, but everything other than that, yeah, we outside. So with that being said, it's your brother man. You understand? And I'ma holler at y'all. I should play the intro one more time.